Alrighty, guys, welcome to Empowered Elite's team call for September 13th. So happy to see all your faces again this week. And I know I went live in the team page today too, but I just have to say thank you for the bottom of my heart for everybody who has been there for everybody else on the team in absolutely amazing ways. It is truly moving to see how we've rallied together through this storm this week. Just two quick updates because I'm going to be doing I'm going to do the updates in the team page since it is late and I want to give Kelsey time for her content. But the Clean Week sneak peek is going to be on the 19th. And I posted today in the page as well. But remember that Super Saturday is coming up on September 23rd to make sure that you get to a local event and that you make sure you get your coaches to those events as well. So if you missed that post, it's in the team page with the link of the locations that you can check out. So with that said, I am super excited to have Kelsey on tonight. Kelsey started coaching in April of 2014, and I remember watching her journey of just navigating being a news reporter and really killing it with coaching on the side. Her team is a 5-star 2017 Elite team. She is a 3-star in her spouse account and a 1-star, right, in your second business center. She is a SC10 All-Star Legend and ranked number 97 in the company right now. So absolutely incredible leadership, incredible teamwork, and she just has so much value to add. So some of you, when I asked what topics you would like on team calls, mentioned you would like to know more about onboarding your customers, your challengers, getting them started right, and just kind of how to keep them organized and how to check in and track people to really help them have the best experience and the best results. So that's what she's here for tonight. I'm super excited to have you, Kelsey. Thank you so very much for hopping on tonight.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm excited to be here. As Dana said, I've been in the business for 3.5 years now, and I still am extremely humbled when somebody asks me to provide value to somebody else. Because I guess you don't ever put yourself in that, oh, I should teach somebody else what I'm doing. But I'm really excited to be here because I do love teaching and it's one of my passions. And I do want to just start off this call by prefacing that if any of you are my Facebook friends, you have noticed that I've had a really, really awful day because of my new puppy. And if you see him behind there start screaming like a psychopath, I will be muting really quickly to throw him in the cage because it's a nightmare. He's a nightmare. But anyway, yeah, I'm here tonight to talk to you guys about onboarding challengers. But for those of you that don't know who I am, just a little backstory. I'm a former news reporter, like Dana said. So I came into this business in what I call the lowest point of my life, just probably like a lot of other people. I got the job right out of, I had waited about 5 months and I got this job right out of college and I was excited and it's all I ever wanted to do. So I was ready. I've always been a go-getter. And when I want something, I'm all in from the beginning, and reporting was okay, I'm going to be a news reporter. I got out of school in 3.5 years because I wanted to get started in my career, and I graduated, got the job, and got hired making $21,000 a year, which was extremely low after taxes. That's pretty much minimum wage, if that. And I just remember being okay, well, I have to get my foot in the door. I have to start somewhere. So I took the job, didn't think twice about it, got in there, and my whole days were consisted of negativity. I'm sure a lot of you put on the news and you see the first thing, and you guys kind of are living in it right now, the negativity of the world. And also wanted to also say that I am thinking about your team, and I think it's pretty amazing what you guys are doing for your sisters. What's going on down there is, we've all been watching it, and that was life every day for me, being surrounded by that kind of stuff and watching people be sad, and it sucks. And like I said, I'm really proud of your team for what you guys are doing for each other. That shows what kind of team you are, truly. But that's the news, right? The news is negative. And if you turn on your news, and especially if you're in Florida right now, you turn on your news and in the first 3 minutes, it's called the A block. And the A block are your hard hitters. They're what's going to grab emotion really quick to make you stick around in the newscast. So the first 3 minutes are going to be the negative things that are going on in your community. And That was my life. And while you guys had a remote to shut it off, it came home with me. It was in my inbox. It was constantly everywhere. And I had to deal with it. I would get called out of bed in the middle of the night to go grab my camera and go to a fire and literally stand there and film somebody's house burn down as they watched it. And it was terrible, absolutely terrible. And I drove myself into a depression very quickly. Like I said, so Beachbody came into my life when I was at my all-time lowest because, one, I'm broke as hell. Two, I'm negative, depressed, falling into this deep, deep trap of depression and can't get out. And I got myself to the point where I would be, and I don't know if you guys can relate to this, where you would see somebody you know at a grocery store and you'd like go to the next aisle to like avoid having to talk to them. Like that was my life. Choosing between gas and food for the week. I mean, it was just, I was bad. It was, oh my God, here they go. It was just negative all around. And when I found Beachbody, my coach is Natalie Bailey, and I went to college with her. And I'll never forget like scrolling across that post of her just extremely happy, like standing in a wedding dress, and me being like, what the hell is she doing? Because when you're unhappy, you don't understand that there's actually people out there that are happy. And then they do find those people that are happy, they annoy you because you're unhappy. So I kept seeing her pop up over and over again. She did a great job as a coach and continuously showing up because I kept seeing her. And I reached out to her and I asked her about whatever she was doing. And I'm a reporter, so all I need to do is find a keyword and I'll Google it myself and I'll research it. And that's what I did with Beachbody. So I saw Beachbody, I got on the website, and so this is just a tip for you guys. Don't put any of the product names in your posts because there's people like me out there that will do this on their own. Took 21-day fix, Googled it, bought it on the website, despite her giving me all the information because I didn't want to spend $130 on a protein shake because I didn't get it. But she was still there for me. She helped me through the journey. I kept asking her questions and she'd answer them. So don't ever count those people out either because you never know what they're going to do. But I just noticed my whole mentality for life changing. And I just always think back, and this topic is actually very near and dear to my heart because I always think back to what she did for me and how she kind of just took me under her wing and she really helped me through the beginning stages of my journey. And I always tell people this when I talk about this topic. And actually I talked about this the other day to my team. And I said, when you sign somebody up, you make a commitment to them. You tell them that and think about it. And you have to be really honest with yourself is when you're having these conversations with people, you're trying to make a sale. So you're promising them that the group is going to be engaging. It's going to be a blast and you're going to provide them A, B, C, D, and E. And it's going to be this, it's going to be that. And think about it as a person that's coming on that is literally handing $160 to something that they pretty much know nothing about. The only thing that they know is what you're telling them. You better be damn sure that you're going to, follow up on your promise, what you're giving to them. Oh my gosh, I knew this was going to happen. They're going nuts. So you have to be damn sure that you're going to follow up with what you promised them. And she did that. I mean, I was never, and I'll be honest, guys, I've never been a challenger. I was never in a challenge group because I decided to do it on my own. And I'll never forget whenever I saw some results posted to her page of one of her challengers who looked better than me. And I was like, how did she get better results than me? And it was because she did the nutrition plan, to a T with Shakeology. And Natalie made a post that was like, free Shakeology samples. And there's me broke as hell. I'm like, me, I'll take one. And that's how I became a coach because I got it in the mail and I loved it. And she was still there for me through it all. Obviously coaching has changed a lot since 2014. I mean, in my 3.5 years, I can't even get over how much we've had to change shit since we started. So the way that I do things now is very different than when I did things when I first started as a coach. And if you guys have been around for a while, you probably consider the same thing. But the one thing that has not changed is that promise. It's that commitment that you make to the challenger, that when you sign them up, that you're going to be there for them through thick and thin. And this is a step, guys, that we cannot miss. We cannot skip this step. Because if you want a successful team, and look at your team right now, right? Look at the people around you. Did you guys have a good experience with Dana or your upline before you decided to be a coach? Did the challenge group rock? Did you feel loved? Did you feel guided? Did you feel like she actually cared about you? Because that's the missing key. And people always come to me and they ask me, they're like, well, my coaches, they'll say, Kelsey, I can't get anybody to stay. I have so many one and dones. And I'm like, well, let's break this down, which I'm going to show you guys what we do on our team. But let's break this down. What step did you miss? Did you treat these people literally as 2 Success Club points and then you got them and then all of a sudden like, okay, I'm out, here's an email and a packet on how to meal prep and I'll see you in 21 days when I need your Shakeology to renew. Are you that coach, or are you the coach that's literally there with them, holding their hand, answering them, being there for them, providing them with other people, which is I'm going to talk to you guys about, so when you can't be there for them all the time, they still have a community to turn to. That's what people want. And I want you guys to think about this tonight as I'm talking about this. What would you want? What do you want? What did you want when you came into this? Did you want somebody? I heard somebody say they're going through the ultimate reset. That's not an easy program to go through alone. You need the support of your team. You need the support of your people. When you're trying something new, when we were all going through Shift Shop for the first time a couple weeks ago, I would assume that all of you guys did it together, right? And you guys rallied together and you needed that support. Like, it doesn't matter where we are in our journeys. We still need somebody. And these people feel extremely alone when they're first starting. All they have is you. Think about that. And I know that might seem like a heavy weight on your shoulders. They don't know anybody else yet. They just have you. They don't know who else is in your challenge group. They're all of a sudden these like 25 people from your last challenge group recycle into the new one who already know each other, and now they're the outcasts and they feel alone, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, okay, well, these people have been doing it for a while and I don't understand why this isn't working at ABC, and they have a million things going through their heads. It's our job to make them feel loved and to make them have a great experience. So I do want to share with you guys tonight with the process that I go through with a new challenger. I'm not going to get into like the sign up process or anything like that, because I feel like you should know that. This is literally, I'm starting like the moment that the enrollment goes through. And I'm going to share with you guys how I keep them engaged in the systems that I use to keep them organized, because I'm assuming a lot of you on here are probably wondering, like, once you get to that point where you have a ton of challengers coming in, how you keep up with them all, right? Okay, so we'll go through this step by step. So number one thing, I have 5 steps for you that I do with my new challengers. Number 1 is the enrollment email. So first things first, before I even say enrollment email, people want simple. Do not make this harder on yourself than it has to be. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I was doing and what I've changed. I'd sign somebody up, I'd send the enrollment email, and I would be like, welcome to my challenge group. And then 2 days later, I would go back in and send another email about meal prepping. The day after that, I'd send them another email about Shakeology. And the day after that, I'd send them another email about Beachbody On Demand. And then 2 days later, I'd get a message from them saying, hey, can you tell me how to meal prep and how to make a shake and what Beachbody On Demand is all about? Because they don't ever read the emails. So I was putting all this work into getting them started, and they weren't even using any of the stuff that I was giving them. So what I do now is I start with that welcome email. Okay, so the welcome email goes out and within 24 hours of them enrolling, never later than that. Because again, this should break down a lot of different things for you, and I should have had this up. I have everything up as the welcome email. I'll bring that up as I'm talking. But the welcome email I do through MailChimp, M-A-I-L, Chimp. That's like an automated, type of system, and you can make the emails just look way prettier, in my opinion. So I send this to them. It has links for them, and it basically just welcomes them into their challenge. I, again, get this out to them within, I'm pulling it up right now so you guys can see it. I almost have it. I make sure that I get this out to them within 24 hours. You guys probably already do this, but this is just really important that you get this out, because you have to explain the charges to them, guys. They have to know when things are coming out again. They need to know. And I always tell them actually in the conversation too, like, you're going to get an email from Beachbody before your next Shakeology ships, different things like that. But if people sign up as what I call a preferred customer instead of a discount coach, if they sign up as a preferred customer, they need to know the breakdown for that. If they sign up as a customer, they need to know a breakdown for that. You don't want there to be any secrets, because you don't want this coming back on you. Think about how irritated you would be if you signed up for something and then there's like 70 charges that your coach never told you about. You want to be very upfront with them. So I make sure that I get that out to them quickly. And I'm trying to pull this up. This is literally the one thing I did not pull up for you guys. Okay, so this is what it looks like for me when they get it. It just says, congrats on committing to a healthier you, going through it really quick. It tells them that they're going to be getting everything in 5 to 7 days. On the side, all their future charges, again, breaking down the $16 coach fee, still telling them how much they're saving. Here's how to chat with them if they want to change anything. Beachbody On Demand, all the resources they need to know, and then I have some tools and resources for them there. So again, that goes out to them in 24 hours. The next thing I do is I add them to my Fit Family page. So instead of sending out a series of emails, I have something called the Team SB Fit Family. So in here is like a group where they can start meeting each other. It's really quiet, to be honest with you guys. I don't expect a high engagement in this. It's more of a place to just be like a centralized location where they have all the stuff that they need. I'm going to share that with you guys now too. So I'll add them into our Fit Family page. And there's a video from me right when they log in. It says, welcome to our Fit Fam. Start with the video and Ricky, please stop. And navigate around the page. And I tell them this is, Ricky, stop. I tell them that this is a resource for them and I'm there to answer all their questions as they go. So what that video does is it actually helps them navigate through that page. So it'll tell them how to get to the files section. It'll tell them things that they're going to need to know. As you can see as you go through it, it's literally me walking them through what this is. So once a new challenger signs up, I tag them in the comment section and I'll say, welcome in, watch this video on how to navigate this page and the resources I created for you. And then check your email for your welcome email. So I add them in there immediately, guys. And with that, they can start meeting each other. They can see the people that enrolled with them that same month. And they can start going through it. So the file section is where all those emails I was telling you guys that I was sending before, it's now in one spot for them. So in here, everything that they need to know about Beachbody On Demand, there's a PDF. I'll show you guys all these. Meal prepping, Shakeology, so how to make a perfect shake. Recipe packets, Shift Shop prep packet, because I had a ton of people go through Shift Shop with me, obviously, because it was brand new, so I made one specifically for Shift Shop. And then I also added recipes as I create them. So to give you an idea of what these look like, they can click on it, and this dog. It'll take them into here. It's not loading, right? But basically, it's very interactive. So they can click. I make all these through Canva, so I know someone's going to ask me that, through Canva. And basically, it walks them through how to use Beachbody On Demand. That's also interactive. So they can click on this, and it'll take them to Beachbody On Demand. There it is. And then same thing, click on your program. So basically, it helps them find the program, stuff like that. Everything is very descriptive. I'm gonna pull up the chat box in case anybody has questions as I go. Oh, yeah, mail check. Okay. Telling them how to stream. They can click here for instructions on how to stream to their TV. So I did all this once and I never have to do it again. You know, it's there for them. They can access this. Same thing with the meal prepping one. They can go through, they click on these, it'll take them to videos. This will take them to the Fixate cooking show. I tell them to watch the Containers 101, all that good stuff. Follow this document to get started with meal planning. PowerPoint that I created for them on how to find recipes. So these, they can click on all these. I'll take them to the Beachbody website to show them meal plans for each bracket. And again, it's all very just interactive. So as you guys can see, it's all in one place for them. And it's just, they can click through these and download them. And my challengers, again, here's a video on why people don't like Shakeology and how to make the shake correctly, because I get that all the time. There's recipes for them. I give them my go-to recipes for each flavor. And then I give them the Team Beachbody podcast for Shakeology, so that will answer any of the questions that they would have too. So, and then how to change their flavors. They can click on this to change their flavor at the end of the month. So when somebody asks me a question with this, and then again, the rest is just recipes. But when somebody asks me a question, I can literally just go in here and I can tag them in the bottom. You know what I mean? Instead of having to say, okay, I need to do this, 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 and this. I'll be like, okay, I'll be like, okay, listen, Kaylee, I'm going to tag you in the bottom of this packet. Go through that and let me know. But again, these documents I created on Canva. And it took me a little while to, you know me, I'm freaking weird with that kind of stuff. I like to make them perfect. It took me a while, but they're there for everybody. You know, everybody can have them and they download them and they have them to their computers. And I honestly, since starting that way, no one really asks me anything because they know where to find stuff. I almost cried the other day when I signed up this girl. And she literally messaged me and she sent me her meal plan and she told me she found everything. She had everything printed off and sent me a screenshot of everything printed on her desk. And I was like, oh my God, I made it. Like, that was how I knew it. I was like, she did it. So that's the kind of stuff that you're looking for. So that's number 2 is the fit family. So 1 was the welcome email. Number 2 is I get them in the fit family and I show them that, introduce them to the community. The third thing I do is I send them a form so I can find out their end goal. So with that, I'll also send this to you, show this to you guys. I have them fill out a form, and I use Typeform, TYPE form. They're just really pretty looking in there. I send that to them, and I have them fill this out. And people always ask me, like, why I do this step. And it's so I know exactly what they're working for, and I make them dig really deep. And what I make them do is once they fill it out, I just literally copy and paste it into a Word document. And then I tell them to forward it to 5 of their closest friends and family members. And what they do is they're telling, so that they have not just me holding them accountable, but their best friends, their husband, their mom, their dad. So whenever, like, I tell them, like, if you fall off, you know, like, you have to own up to them on why you fell off. You have to show them that you gave up. And that has been really, really helpful for our groups too. So this Typeform is this. So again, like I said, Typeform is just really pretty. So you just go in there and then they'll just answer different questions like this. I tell me about their physical activity. They'll click through it. The workouts they like. This will, again, helps me recommend the perfect program for them, you know, making sure that even if we said, 21-day fix before, but they're saying that they like kickboxing and stuff, and I know that I'm going to try it with quarter force and stuff like that. How they rate their current fitness status, their eating, what typical day of eating looks like for them, what their goals are and how they were going to feel if they achieve them. This is what I send to them. And then they keep this as well as this stuff. I ask them who motivates them to keep a healthy lifestyle because that's who they're going to send this to. So it'll be like if they say my husband or you or things like that, like stuff like that. And the biggest obstacles that you face, so that way that whenever that does happen, we'll have a solution for that. We can figure that out. I know what to expect whenever that does come up. So the form just kind of gives me an idea of what to expect from them, and it makes me see their goals right off the bat. And then when I have them forward it over to their friends and family, that's a whole new level of accountability, honestly. Because they're like, I've had people have said, I don't want to do that. But I'm like, just send it to one then, you know, send it to 2 people because you don't want just me because you don't know me. You can let me down and you're not going to feel bad about it, you know? But if you tell your husband you're going to do something and then you don't do it, or you tell your best friend you're going to do something and you don't do it, you're more likely to follow through. So that's honestly a huge step that's been really beneficial. Once that's done, they're in the challenge group. Challenge groups are a completely different subject. But what's going on but just because you plug them into a challenge group does not mean that you're good for 30 days of not speaking to that person. So making sure that you're staying in touch with them. And this is where people ask me all the time, like, how are you keeping people organized? Like, how do you know where they are? How do you know when to contact them? Different things like that. I operate on a 5 to 10 people a day system. So every day I'm personally messaging 5 to 10 of my challengers. And I keep them in track with Asana. And that's asana.com. And I'm going to show you that too. And guys, I'm telling you, I'm like the systems and organizational queen. So I'm like, keep directing me to different places. That's just the way that my brain works. Like, I work best that way. I can't have things like, you should see my desk. It's a disaster. But everything in my business is very organized. Okay. So so you guys can see here, this is my 2017 customers list. Everybody is in there by name and the date that they signed up. They remain in there even if they cancel because I still reach out to them because I've had so many people come back even after canceling. So just because somebody canceled, that doesn't mean you need to just like, okay, well, screw you, bye, I'm never speaking to you again. Like, I still talk to them. So when I tell you guys that I start my 5 to 10 names a day, I literally just go through each name. So you guys will see here. Where is it? So this is some of their goals. I usually will write their goals in there. I also know where they're placed, what business center they're in. I know how to contact them. They'll tell me how to contact them. So like Alex wanted me to talk to her through texting or Facebook Messenger every other day. So this is stuff you can ask. These are stuff that I ask them behind the scenes, in the first, while they're getting ready in prep week. This stuff, and like you'll just have it forever. Just you can take an easy note. I have that for all of them. So I know what her goals were, hers were to look and feel the best she can be, how to get you back on track if you fell off. That's a great question to freaking ask them. She says, ask questions and find out why this isn't working for me and help you find something else that does. What you need from me, keep pushing me to do. So like they give you everything. Like these are questions, like what's that saying? Like good leaders ask great questions. Like you just have to ask questions because it's so much easier to message somebody that fell off when they told you what to do if they fall off. You can literally, like some of them will be like, tough love, like tell me straight, like you told me you wanted this and I'll do that. But anywho, 5 a day. So I literally keep them in track by their date of enrollment. And the reason I have their date of enrollment in there is because I know when to introduce the business to them. And I also know when their next Shakeology order is coming out. So that's something that like I can see here going down to September. I know that I need to talk to Brittany and Nicole and Savannah and Jordan before like a week before these come out. Again, that's just how my brain works. I don't know if you would need a reminder on that, but I see that and I know when to reach out to them. But 1 second. Please just take a nap. So again, 5 people a day. So it's so easy. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, then you go back up to the top, 5. Next day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're feeling feisty that day, do 10. But they don't have to be, hey, I just want to check in and see how you're doing. Like the people that fall off, I'm just like, hey girl, you popped up on my newsfeed. It's saying that you're like right kind of back to phase 1. You popped up on my newsfeed and I just wanted to reach out to you and see how things have been going. Like I saw that, the baby's getting bigger and et cetera, and you just keep those conversations going. Or even if it's just me liking or commenting on one of their posts, I'm always just making sure that I'm staying in their life and they know that I'm there for them. So to share that with you again, this is 2017. I have 2016s here. So I still go back and do these ones too. So I started this back in October. So I don't know. I guess I could go back all the way to the beginning, but it's a lot. So I have it starting back then. And you can see that some months are longer than others. I had better Success Club months, but no one ever goes off this list. I just keep going through. Does anybody have any questions about how I'm staying in touch with them?
I just want to know, for putting in Asana, did you, you didn't go back obviously because you just started that when you did it. Like, is there a way, do you know, to go into and export that information?
From like the Coach Online office?
Mm-hmm.
I just go back through, I don't know if there's a way to export it and make it easier, but the hard way of doing it is going to your Success Club qualification in the online office and going back to the month and taking the scroll box down. It takes a little while, and if there is an easier way, please, for the love of God, tell me, because that would be so nice. But I'm like on top of it now, so so I just add them as I sign them up now, so I don't think twice about it. But I don't have them, as you guys can see, before October of 2016 because I finally got with the system and made my life a little bit easier. But that's how you can find it. How do I track where you left off and spoke to someone next? Because I have this is the one unorganized thing that I have. It's a notebook of just names, and I write their names down. So I know where I'll look at the previous day and I'll know where I left off and I keep going. And I need to get better at it, but I used to post it in my Asana too. I'd be like, I usually put like last contact. Oh, I still do that. Let me see if I can show you that. So like, you can take notes in Asana, which is really cool. Like add notes into it. So you guys can see, like I said, on February 23rd, reached out about coach opportunity. Like I leave notes in there too, so I know like what's going on. Reach out about coach opportunity. I write coach next to them if they convert over to coaches, things like that. So that way, you can put notes in there. It's really, really nice. I do the same thing with my team. That's just a side note too. We have one-on-one calls. Asana is fantastic. You have everybody in there by rank, and I do take all my one-on-one call notes in there. So that is that step. And then the last but not least, no, Asana is free. It is.
How do they make money?
I have unpaid. Yeah. I don't pay for this one because I have Teamsy too. Oh my God, that's a whole other topic. That's just like, that's, yeah, I just stick with my notebook for that stuff. But yeah, it's free. It's great. But yeah, that's how I keep track of people I'm talking to. And then the last step that I have is behind the scenes interaction of what you do to make sure that they're having a great experience while the challenge group is going on. I encourage my challengers to download the app GroupMe or WhatsApp. And what my challenge groups, I don't know, most people don't do this, but I divide them into teams for each challenge group. And they're usually on teams of like 6 or 7 people. And all the new people I usually put on the same team. So they rally together and they push each other. But they download these apps and they talk to each other in the app as the challenge group is going on. So that way that they have people to talk to. So when I'm not there and I can't answer something immediately, I don't feel the pressure of it because I know that they have a support system outside of me too, which is each other. So that has been amazing. The team system is incredible. My entire team does this with all their challenges, and you can do it however you want. Rookie, come here. You can make it fun. I mean, like, let me see here. Yeah, GroupMe and WhatsApp. Yeah, and is that addition to the tracker app and Facebook? That's in the tracker. So in the track, yeah, it's addition to it. So I put them in there. I'll like put in the day before the challenge group starts, I usually will give a list and say, here are your teams, your accountability partners for the next, 3 weeks. Reach out to them, find each other on WhatsApp, and like the thread underneath of my challenge tracker would be like 85 comments because they're all trying to get in touch with each other. But they figure it out every time. And they keep each other accountable for the entire time. So again, it takes a lot of pressure off of me because in most of my groups, there's like 60, 70 people in there. And like the new coaches or the new people that are coming in, like that's going to be intimidating for them. So they have these smaller groups, to always connect with. I respond to every single thing that they post, everything. And you guys, you should know in the challenge tracker app, you can click on their name and go to their individual posts. I make sure that all my new people are getting my constant attention and love on every single one of their posts. And like I said, I message 5 to 10 a day. And the last thing that I do for new challengers is that they get a voice message from me every Friday on Facebook. And the voice message for me is just you rock this week, or you fell off this week. I can see that you didn't log 3 of your workouts. Are you okay? What's going on? How can I get you back on track? So you just have to pay attention to it. Like you have to make sure that you're paying attention to them. I know if somebody's fallen off. I know if somebody's set 5 out of 5 that week. So usually on Friday, we'll give them a tip and be like, hey, like you're going into the weekend. Don't let all this hard work fall off this weekend. Like I challenge you to, stay on track, or I'll give them some motivation or some advice, based on anything they talk, and we'll talk a little bit on Fridays. But that's how I get them started right. I know that was a lot really fast. And I know I literally directed you like all these different places, but if anybody has any questions that I can answer for you, I'm more than happy to.
Hey, Kelsey. I am curious, I guess. Well, first, I'm coming to the Charlotte Super Saturday, so.
Hey, make sure you come say hi.
I will. I guess I'm curious how long it took you to figure all this stuff out. I mean, you've been doing it a while now. Did you start doing all of this like right from the beginning, or did it sort of build as you went?
Building as I go, for sure. And Dana can probably back me up on this. I have always been like very weird about I do things way harder than you probably should. I'm just gonna put it that way. Like I am somebody that likes my shit in order. And not many people are like I said, I really wish you could see my house. It's a straight up shit show. But when it comes to my business, everything is placed accordingly. It took me time though. Like this probably, I'm assuming you're talking about like the Fit Family group and stuff like that. When I put my mind to something, I literally have to sit down and do it. I will say that. So like when I was like, ooh, PDFs, I was like, boom, 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 boom. I hadn't done it in a day. But it takes time. Like it takes time. And you also figure if it doesn't work, you have to change it. So believe me when I tell you that I've tried 400 things before I've gotten to where I'm at, like things that have not worked for me. So this is also, and I do tell everybody this, I should have said this in this call, is that if what you're doing is working now, please don't change it just because you heard me say something differently. You know, like make sure that you can take what I've given you and add to it, but don't completely change things if what's working, if what you have is working. But it does take time. And like I said, I'm just a very red personality. If you've read that book, so like I'm just very like when I put my mind on something, I just go do it. But I don't know. Like I said, I talk a lot, so just tell me to shut up. I apologize. Let's keep going. Zach always comes over and like puts his hand on my mouth to make me stop talking.
I have a question, Kelsey. I just saw your Fit Fam has 83 people in it, and I feel like you must have way more than 83 people that you support. So who is in there and who's not?
Who's in there is that the Fit Fam is actually new as of last month. It's brand new. So mostly discount coaches. I went through my whole downline. In all honesty, I have not gone through and added everybody out of my Asana yet.
Okay. Because I feel like because you've been, okay, so I like that idea.
Probably have left too.
Yeah, I love that because I started that, actually, Kelly Riley, we talked about that at our leadership retreat, but I love how you have that video because that's where, I think a lot of us here, it's like getting the same questions over and over again. And then the other thing, if you could share, I'm not sure how long you were working as a reporter and supporting your challengers, because I feel like it's so hard to support everyone when, like, full-time job, like, I see you go over and beyond. It's amazing what you do for your challengers. So what, like, was there something different when you were actually full-time working?
Yeah. I definitely did not do as much as I do now. I'll be honest with you. I can't even say that. I'm a really weird person. So don't compare yourself to me. But yeah, no. Can I give them the attention that I give them now? Hell no. Like I think I definitely go way above and beyond than I used to. But my main thing is if you are working full time and you're just trying to make sure that you're there for them, like the biggest things is just having that list and just continuing to follow up with them. Like be in that group every single day. Like there's never a day when I was working that I didn't log my workout. I didn't log my shake. Everything. The challenge tracker app makes life so much nicer now that we can schedule everything. I didn't have that whenever I was working full time. So like I still utilize that now. But honestly, what I would do is just, do what you can. And that's the same with anything in this business. There's no right or wrong way of doing this stuff. It's just figuring out what works for you. And I think if the most important things with challengers is making sure they know you're there for them, responding to them, making sure that you're at least touching their posts, whether that's a like or a comment. And and again, like if you do something like a Fit Family page, it honestly takes the work out of the beginning for you completely. Honestly, it'll make your life way easier. I used to make it way harder than it needed to be, and this Fit Family page has definitely
helped. Sorry, I had to put my children to bed because they're nuts right now, so I missed part of this. So sorry if I ask a question that was already asked. And also I'm so jet lagged. I'm sorry, my brain's also not working. I'm talking so slow. Okay, the Fit Fam, you're just doing the prep week in there. I know you said it was new, obviously, but you're doing prep week and planning to offer them other information, as in like what challenges are coming up. I think I saw that you posted that, right? And then just leaving it open and leaving them in there the whole time. Sorry if you already said that.
No one else is. The prep week is still in the app. The resources are just all in one place. So prep week is still separate. That's why I said, I was like, oh, that's a whole other thing. So the everything resource-wise is in FitFam. To succeed, they have it, right? Like everything's in one place. The prep week is separate. So it's still the first week of the challenge tracker app. I schedule a lot of the stuff that's actually in there throughout the prep week. So that they see it multiple times. But prep week is different. And then what was your second question to that?
So then as far as like what becomes of it after they look through the resources, they just stay there and then like maybe you'll like update them on different things that are coming up with Beachbody, or is that what you're saying?
So it's a place where I keep them updated with everything. So like when 80-Day Obsession was announced, I shared that video in there. Like a week of hard labor, I was like, guys, like you have access to this. And then Like tonight I uploaded 3 new PDFs that I made for them with a ton of crockpot recipes and fall type inspired stuff. So like I said, this is brand new. So as you saw, the list is kind of short right now. But my plan is to make it very long. There's to be a ton of different things for them, recipe wise and stuff like that. And then I always ask them too. So I'll put up a poll in there and I'll be like, what are you guys needing from me? Are you needing more recipes? Are you needing this, and this? I promote free groups in there. I promote my next challenge group in there. I have them drop their emails if they want to be in the next challenge group.
Do you have people that use it like kind of a challenge group or no? Because my thing, I'm asking all these questions because like we have a page of like 200 people and I've kind of been doing that, but like sometimes I feel like I don't know, is it just you offering the value or are other people pitching in with things too?
No, it's really weird because my free groups and my challenge group are like crazy engagement. That room is crickets. No one's
Okay.
If they literally view it as a place to get their resources and kind of go elsewhere.
Right. But I like that because it takes the pressure off for me to make it feel like it's supposed to be something that it's not.
Yeah, like I only post in there whenever I have something to offer them. Like it's like, okay, here's a free group or here's a week of hard labor and I also post in when we have a coach sneak peek coming up.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I have a couple small questions. So in your FitFam group, do you have that welcome video pinned to the top?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Also, if you do like a free trial for people, are you adding them in there as well if they're just like sampling Beachbody on demand, or do you not put them into that page?
No, I don't put them in there. I usually just kind of work with those people one-on-one. And honestly, I don't really have people that do that often, which is, I mean, it's weird. I don't really have people usually people like just start. But if they don't, I mean, I'm still giving them the same information I give everybody else. I usually, with them, I send them a detailed email that would have how to utilize Beachbody on demand to have a meal prep and stuff like that too. I don't add them to the page, which actually probably would be freaking easier. So that's actually a really good idea instead of sending them an email. But yes, I'm going to start doing that.
Cool. And then my last question is, I have been called out by my dude on multiple occasions that like when I check in with him like on daily activities of like, hey, did you, I don't know, clean the dishes? Like when I'm checking in with him on stuff on a regular basis, kind of like I would do with my challengers, like, hey, how's your meal prepping going? Or hey, how's your workouts? Are you logging in? He's called me out and said that it's almost like I'm like nagging or saying like, hey, are you doing this? Because if not, then you know, he says it kind of comes off maybe not as like caring or warm as it could. Do you have any like key verbiage that you use when you're constantly checking with people because you check in with them so often?
I ask them ahead of time how often they want me to contact them. So that way I have that. And like I said, like you can see that I have that note in there where if they tell me once a week, they're only going to hear from me once a week. I won't overstep my boundaries on that. If they say every other day, like I'm in there every other day. But I guess the correct wording that I would use is just like, I switch it up every time. I just be like, hey, last time we talked, you told me that you're struggling with your meal plan. How's that been going? Do you mind if I see it? Can you send me a picture of it so I can look at it and help you? Or do you need more recipes from me? Things like that. Or like, are you still enjoying this? Do you need some variety? Is the workout plan working for you? Because I'll have a lot of people that'll be like, I don't know if you guys have this, drives me insane. Again, type A personality where they'll like move around their workouts and you know it's wrong. Like I have to like get in there and tell them that like it was designed a certain way to follow the plan. But like I said, just the best way to avoid that whole thing is just to ask them what they need from you and like how they want to be approached because everybody is so different. So like while your significant other may think that it's nagging, like I would enjoy that. Like I'd like that because it's like holding me accountable. So I guess the easiest way to answer that is just to ask like what they want. And then again, just change your wording every time. Always provide value is the easiest way to do that too. It's like, hey, can I get you more recipes? Or, hey, can I see your meal plan so I can make some tweaks to it and help you make it more fun? Or, hey, do you want some lunch recipes? I know you said you were struggling with that last week, you know, things like that.
Amazing. Does anybody else have questions for Kelsey?
I think that my mind is just blown that you can be so present for so many people. It's awesome.
Is there, sorry, I have one more question if you guys will allow it. Is there like, I mean, I know you have a lot of systems with your challenge groups too, but like, I feel really torn about still in Facebook, and I know you just like dive all in, and I think that's awesome, but like, do you have any tips for keeping engagement up in the app, like things that have worked really well for you with that? Because I just feel like I'm struggling, but then again, I'm kind of half-assing with like keeping Facebook open too. So I just love to hear if you had anything that's been working well.
Yeah, I think I told you this before, is that my challengers don't even know that Facebook is an option. Just I literally took on Challenge Tracker the moment it came out, and I went all in with it. And again, like they see the Fit Family page and they see it being boring. So I guess they just don't ever, when they go to the Challenge Tracker app, they're like, woohoo, like I can speak in here. But my challenge groups, and like, I don't say this to like toot my own horn, but they're freaking incredible. The engagement on my stuff is incredible. And the reason is, and actually if you guys haven't seen, I did a video on this in the Champions page last Thursday where I literally go into detail on what I do in there. So check that out, but it's in a quick summary. I literally make them talk about themselves 7 days a week. That's the one thing that I think a lot of challenge groups are missing, is that we're so structured. We're like motivation Monday, tip Tuesday, workout Wednesday, and then like we're giving and we're giving and we're giving, and then they're not talking. But what I do in my groups is I literally find an opportunity to make them talk about themselves every single day and engage with each other. So Mondays, where it's might be Motivational Monday, I'm having them post a quote in a comment section and then tagging another challenger that might need to hear it that day. Or post a quote that really helped you start your workout today. What is it? Or I'll post in a Tony Robbins short video and I'm like, what's your big takeaway? I'll give you 10 points toward the Nikes or whatever. Tuesdays, I always do like a Torch It Tuesday. So a self-limiting belief, I have them tell me that and then tell me how they're going to get over it. So things like that, again, getting them to talk about themselves. Wednesdays are Women Crush Wednesday. They tell me about their mom. They tell me about their best friend. It's not really all fitness related. And because of that, they're always talking. They're always talking because nobody wants to be the girl that never posted about her best friend in the group. I'm telling you that. Like they want to talk and they want to talk about their people and they want to talk about themselves. Thursday, I'm like, what's a moment in your life you're thankful for? Like tell me about this moment in your life and what it's done for you, or why are you thankful for your Shakeology? And when you ask that, you get testimonials. When you ask them why they're thankful for their Shakeology, I copy and paste them and I have them so I can talk to people about it. Fridays are always some sort of team challenge. Like I told you guys, I put them on teams. So I do things like bingo boards. I do tag and go. So what they'll do is I'll get to, like this one actually gets a lot of engagement. I'll definitely give it to you guys. They pick a team captain that week. I'll put up a post and they pick your team captain, and they do. And then once the post comes up, I say the challenge is to start with a question and tag the next teammate. And they have to get through their team and all learn something new about each other. So I'd be like, Dana, what's your favorite color? And Dana would be like, it's pink. Kelly, what did you do? And they go down, and I'm telling you, it's like boom, boom, boom. So they're trying to win the points. It's insane. And like before you know, there's like 97 comments on this thing, and I'm trying to like track it. I'm like, who won? Because like they're all over the place. But they have so much fun doing that. So like bingo boards, that one, creating Shakeology recipes together. Based off of like a theme. So like they'll have to come up with a recipe and then I'll put it up on my Facebook page and I'll let people vote on it. Or put it in coach page. You guys probably might have seen that in Team Drop the Cookie. I'll post different track. I'll be like, can you guys vote on this for me? And then I encourage them to try new things on BOD. So I'll be like, you'll get 10 bonus points if you go do a different ab workout from another program and give me a review on it. Testimonials. Shakeology Saturdays, I tell them to, or Shift Saturday was our recent one, how they're making the shift that week. And then Show Off Sunday. So Show Off Sunday is them recapping their week for me, telling me their highs, telling me their lows, what they're going to do to improve, sharing their numbers and stuff like that. But again, you get them to talk about themselves every single day and the engagement skyrockets. I'm telling you that right now. And then also attaching points to things like we do with Nikes as our giveaway. So they're really competing in there. So the giveaway is good, and it's It's awesome. And then the whole point system is like, I make Zach do that. Thank God for Zach, because he tracks the points. But that's the one thing Zach helps me with in my business. But I also make them tally their own points, so I don't have to worry about that. Zach just goes in and plugs them all in for me. Or if you had an assistant, you can use them to do that. But hopefully that answered your question. But it's just honestly, like, I think the easiest way, I'm like, but honestly, the easiest way is just get them to talk about themselves. Don't be ask yourself what every other coach is doing in their challenge groups, and then don't do that. Like, do something completely different. Like, let them have fun. People like to talk about themselves, guys. Everybody likes to talk about themselves and give their input, you know?
That's awesome. I love the use of tracker. So this is logistical and maybe it's just a learning curve, but I feel like whenever we were just using the tracker, like the posts got lost and I hate how when you responded, like you can't find stuff and you can't, like you're constantly scrolling. Like if somebody posted something Monday that I wanted to go see, like it's hard, you can't find it. I don't know how you feel about that. I mean, obviously you're rocking the challenge tracker.
I just go into them by name usually. So like I can click on their name and see their posts. So if there's something that I need to see, like I'll go back that way. They do get buried very quickly. Like I know exactly what you're saying. It's hard to find them. And it's not like Facebook where you can type in something and it'll pop up, which I'm hoping that they're working on. But if I know whose it is, I'll just click on their name and I'll just go find them and find it. But usually if I tag them in something, they'll tag me back and it'll pop up in my notifications to go look at it anyway.
Another question about the challenge tracker app. I really liked it. And actually, Sari, who was just talking, we run groups together. And a problem that we were kind of running into was people would say, oh yeah, send me the invite. So you send out the invite, they never join, and then they take up a space that could have gone to someone that actually wants to be in it. So in your Fit Fam, when you say, hey, this is the next challenge group, and people say, yeah, I want in, are you just adding those people, or how are you handling that?
Yeah, I add them if they say they want to be added. So like I don't carry over everybody. I always invite them back to the next one, but not everybody will go into every challenge. So they know that, and at the end of every challenge group too, I put up a post 3 days before it's over that says choose your path. And it says, number 1, go into next challenge group. Number 2, join Team Simply Beautiful and pay it forward and add 3 people to our next challenge. Or number 3, I'm going to sit this round out, but I'll be back next time. So that way I know kind of who's progressing, and everybody that picks one, I immediately drive over to the next one. But if they don't comment, they don't get added. Like I'm not just going to like throw them in there. And then the same thing with the Fit Fam. So that's typically how I do that.
When you say pay it forward and invite 3 people, is that kind of your way of getting people to think about coaching? Or are they kind of like, oh, these people want to join, and then you take them as like referrals?
I say pay it forward. How do I say it? Join Team Simply Beautiful as a coach and get 3 friends to join you. That's how I say it.
Awesome.
And then people pick it sometimes, and then I'll throw them into a coach sneak peek. People that you'll like not even think of are the ones that'll say number 2, and I'm like, what? You weren't here the whole time. But yeah, it plugs that into them. But I actually introduced the business the first week of the challenge group, so they already kind of have an idea about it. Then they have the rest of the group to make that decision. That's kind of how I think about it.
So you don't have a place for people that decide they don't want to continue to the next challenge. There's not like
There's the Fit Fam, so they're just in there.
Okay.
And they have a chance to opt into the next one whenever I post it. They get first access before I even post it on my page. I'll be like, okay, starting this, about to post it. That way they feel exclusive and special. And they're like,
you don't cap the number for the challenge app, right? Or no? Or do you?
What'd you say?
Do you like cap how many people you let in the challenge app? Okay.
I always run it with new coaches too, so it's usually a pretty big group. But then new coaches, again, I feel like I'm like throwing a ton of information at you, but the new coaches can only stay with me for one group because I encourage them to run their own. So they take their people with them to the next one. So like the graphic at the end will always say contact your coach about the next group. So that way that they'll transition with them and then mine stay with me.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty mind blown right now. Kelsey, you are literally so organized. It makes my head spin.
You should see my house. You would say differently, my desk right now.
With that said, my suggestion would be take one or two things that you feel like would move your business forward most, and work on implementing those, because that's what I intend to do, because this is a lot of incredible information, a lot of amazing resources she provides. And yes, it does take a lot of time to create these type of systems, with a lot of heart that Kelsey has put into it. So thank you so, so much for sharing with us tonight. Does anybody have any last minute questions? No? All right. Thank you, Kelsey, so much. We will see you guys next week. Bye.